Hello, I'm Rick Stivers. I'd like to welcome you to YoungMartin'sReels. Today's project is going to be this Synergy TI20 Titanium reel. See if I can find a model number on this thing anywhere. It's made in China. Yeah, it is an SYNT 120 reel. And this reel's got a problem. Don't know what it is yet, but I know it's wrong. Listen. That just don't sound right. The anti-reverse, can we turn, let's see, there's off, there's on. Okay, the anti-reverse on it works. The drag, well, we don't have any line on it, so we don't know there. Let's try it about the bait clicker. That's off. That's on, but I don't know what that is. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? All right, well, let's get started on this. We're going to start off by taking the cover off. And I'm going to back this out. This is kind of a big reel. So we're going to back it out. And, well, hang on. I've been winding. Look here. The pin is not coming out. All right, well, let's see what's going on under here. If I can't, oh, that comes right off. Maybe it's just not tight. Could be this just wasn't on tight. Let's find out. Nope, it's still doing whatever it's doing, and it's still not coming out. I wonder why. Let's see, does it come out when, okay, it goes up. Oh, okay. I think we just got stiff grease in this, folks. Also, it seems like maybe the axle shaft is bent a little bit. See how that wobbles? Just sit hard on the table. See how that wobbles? But it also is not dropping down. If I push down on it, will it? Okay. Still got that popping. And it went back up. Interesting. I wonder if we got a broken spring back here. Okay. This, okay, these seem to be working just fine on the spinner head. These push out, and that's what drops it down. Okay, that's not going, look, that axle shaft is not dropping back in on its own. As a matter of fact, it's actually going out more instead of coming back in. And the more you wind it, the more it goes up. The clicking seems to be in the gear train back here. Okay. Well, let's see what it's going to take this off. I believe we just use my special rounded tip screwdriver to take this screw out. Oh, that's a cover screw. There's another screw down inside. All right. Glad I didn't get too forceful with it. There we go. Okay, this comes out now. And let's see. Oh, well, we have oh, there we go. There's the problem. The spring has popped off out here. There should be a clip. I just shot that. I shot that spring a long way, but I managed to catch it. Okay. All right. Well, there should be something on here holding this, a C-clip, and sometimes it should also have a washer, depending on the design. Okay, yeah, I will have to find a clip for that. Is there one in here somewhere? Don't see a clip laying inside it anywhere. Let's see if it... Let's put the handle on. Okay, well that seems to be okay. A little dry, but the teeth all seem to be okay. Okay. Let me get out my C-clip kit and see if I can find one that fits on there. And a washer. I have this container of washers that my dad left me. And now that I'm down in the shop, you can actually see that periodically when I drag it out. This looks like a washer that might work, but I think it's too small. Okay, let's take this axle shaft out of here. Make it easier to find a washer for it. And I'm gonna go off camera here for a minute while I find what I need. The next thing I had to get out was my box of E-clips, and I've gone through those to find one that would fit adequately. And it's tiny. I can see how somebody lost it. There it is right there on. Okay. And we're going to put all this back together, but first we're going to finish taking this apart. So I've got all the parts now to make this happen again. And we'll go ahead and take this apart. And it really doesn't need to come apart. This part of it doesn't. As a matter of fact, I think I'll tell you how this goes together, and we'll leave it at that. Now, because somebody's going to have this, I always get into this discussion with myself every time, but somebody's going to have difficulty getting this anti-reverse back together over here. So I'm going to have to take that apart and show you, figure out how it goes together so I can show you how to put it back together. Okay, so let's start off by taking out these two screws over here. Oh, by the way, I also found the washer for that axle shaft that I'm going to put on there. Okay, there's no shim washers or anything there. Okay, we're going to leave that in place for the moment. And that little spring there is kind of a bear sometimes, so I'll definitely show you how that goes. Let's go ahead on this side over here. Take this one out. Okay, that's those two. We're going to put them on this side so that I know which is which side. I don't really think it matters, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, then we're going to lift this up and out on both sides like that. And watch your anti-reverse here. See how it comes out. And there it is. Let's take this bushing off on this side so that you can see how this spring is installed. Bring it up to you. And I'll tell you what, I'll bring it, leave it down here, and I'll zoom into it. Now you can see how that spring sits in there. Okay, and this is exactly how it goes, and you're going to take and set it right back down in there like this. Okay, so we'll set that over to the side for a moment. The bearing fell out on the other side, so they have a bushing on one side. All right, got sidetracked by a phone call again. I probably ought to learn to turn my phone off, but you never know when something important might come in. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this piece of line that's in here. And we're going to pop this apart. So let's take off the E-clip like so. Then we're going to take this little plastic piece off, and then the rotor comes off, our spool. All right, now this part here, I've tried to take these off on a Synergy before, and what happens with time is the end of this gets mushroomed down and you can't get this nut off. Okay, the reality is though, you very seldom ever need to get the nut off. What you can do if you need to clean this is back the nut off until, yep, there, see, it jams up right there. That's as far as you really need to take it off, because you can just slide these apart and kind of go in here if you need to and clean them, separate all these pieces out one at a time. Okay, and clean them out with some WD-40. I spray them. and then I'll go in with a bristle brush and clean it out. And then I'll separate to the next one like this and clean it out if it needs to be. And this one is really clean inside, so it doesn't need that. But I do not any longer force this off. I did that once on a smaller version of this same kind of reel, and it like to never got the nut back on. I ended up having to file the end of it, to file the threads down on the end of it, and it was a royal nightmare. Okay, now I've tightened this down and it stops, and you think you're there, but if you look, you still got all this gap right here. So this is not tightened back in right. So what I got to do is back this off and get all these lined up and get them in there to where they're up against there, because these are keyed. See the keyway in there? I don't know if you can see it up inside there, but there's a keyway, and each of those washers has to fit on that keyway properly. Then once that's done, then you can tighten this nut down like so, and now you've created a good drag system. Okay, and that's as far as I'm going to take this one apart, because there's a possibility that if I forced it further, I would damage it, and it's not my reel, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, this is your adjustment for your drag. Okay, and all the way to this position right here is your least amount of drag, and taking it all the way over to this way, this is your tightest amount of drag. And this is where, okay, notice I've got it as tight as I can get it, but I haven't come all the way here. That's because I've got this nut down just a little bit too tight. So what I'm going to do is loosen this up a little bit, like so, and we're going to loosen this nut to here, and then we're going to adjust this around. It's still not far enough. Okay, we're going to bring this around to here, like that, and then I will tighten down the nut, and then I'm going to loosen it just a little bit and tighten it just a hair more. That way, I want to be able to get this to where it will adjust all the way to here, but still be max tight when it gets there. Right now, I'm not quite there. Okay, that's good right there. That's a good adjustment for that nut. Okay, and there's going to be minimum drag right there. Okay, we're going to put this back together. We're going to slide this on. What we want is we want this to be able to slide here. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not adjusted well because, oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's still good. Okay. Gonna loosen it up. That'll take the tension off of these washers in here. We can line them up. See those little ears right there? We got to line them up. And then we've got to line them up with what's the notch in the spool and slide it back together. Like so. With that done, we're going to put this big E-clip back on. Like so. And that is not on. That spool did not go up. See there? The spool did not go all the way down. Let's try this again. Okay. See if we can figure out why this isn't going all the way down. I think this got bent. It did. Okay. While I was wiping it off, I bent that up. Okay, slide it down, turn it around. Make sure it goes down, make sure it's clicking. And it does. Okay, I've got it in the right position now. Slide that on. There. Much better. Now when I tighten this, Now the spool has a very tight drag. I loosen it up all the way, and it's practically no drag. And I think when I put that on a little wrong a while ago, I tweaked this a little bit. Let's see if I can bend it back in. There we go. And let's put it back on again. There. Okay, we're going to put this little plastic piece back on top. And it's got to go into the slots. And it doesn't want to go in. There it goes. Okay, don't like how it's fitting. There. Okay, that's back in. All right, now we're going to reassemble this axle assembly. And it can come out from the rear, so we don't have to worry about trying to build it up inside there. So we're going to set this on here. Gear goes first, like so. Then goes our spring. And we're going to slide this down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a rather large pair of hemostats that I have. And I'm going to slide this down. I got to get on the flat. Where's the flat? Right there. Okay, I'm going to push this down and grab it with the hemostats like that so that it will stay in place. And I'm going to set my washer on. And then I'm going to set my E-clip in place. And then I've got to snap that in, like so. At that point, I can release the hemostats, and that's going to hold. Okay, and now I should not have that infernal bang, bang, banging that it was doing. Okay, I'm going to oil this bearing right here. And we're going to grease the pinion gear. It's a pretty big pinion gear, but it's a pretty big reel actually. All right, slide that in like that. Now we're ready to install the main gear and crankshaft. Let's go ahead and grease up the main gear. And we got to set this back into place with this anti-reverse setting just like this. But before we do that, this anti-reverse bar here fell out. And I got to find the spot it goes up. I got it backwards. There we go. It goes in right over here, like so. And I'm going to give it just a shot of oil to keep from corroding up down there. Don't want to use grease on it. I think grease would cause it to stick. Okay, now we've got to get this little arm right here. See that little arm? That's got to go into that little notch right there on the anti-reverse claw. Okay? So now we got to set all this back in and get that to all line up. The spring's trying to come out. The spring did come out. All right, we got to keep an eye on this. Here we go. This is the spring, and it's got to go down on that shoulder all the way around, like so. Otherwise, it will not fit back in there correctly. All right, let's try this again. It's come out of the hole. Okay, one more time. Right there, in the hole. On the shoulder, in the hole. Okay. Let's try it again. There we go. Took a while. All right, let's get these screws back in before it moves. Like I said, I hate this. This is my least favorite design of anti-reverse. And they did it in a lot of reels. It's used in that same style is used in the Zebco 154, I think it is. It's just a horrendously bad idea as far as servicing. It works great when it's all put together, but they did not build it with the intent of it ever being serviced, I don't think. I don't think they intended for us to take it out. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay, that's the bait clicker on. Here it is off. Here it is on. Okay, and now over here is the anti-reverse on and off, because right now it's in the on position. So let's put it to here and see if it disables the anti-reverse like it should. It did. Turn it back on. It does. Okay. Let's go ahead. Put the handle on. All right. I don't know what part of this they considered to be titanium. I didn't really see anything I thought was overly tough or well made. I mean, it's a big heavy reel. Maybe they just called it titanium as a name, not claiming that it is titanium. Okay. Tighten that down. Okay. And you push the button. Okay. Not sure what to do about that. I wonder if I can kind of tweak that around a little bit. Okay. Well, it's back to working. I'm going to put the cap back on this side over here. Okay, and the drag is working, although I have it set at minimum. And we will put the cover back on. I'm going to see if I can clean that off, whatever that is. Yeah, that cleans off. Let's scrub it just a little bit there. Anti-reverse is off. Turn it on. Anti-reverse is working. Turn on the bait clicker. There you have the Shakespeare Synergy TI20 Titanium reel. It's a beast for a spincast reel. It's about on the par with a Zebco 55 size-wise, and it should be able to handle a pretty good sized fish. It's a nice big heavy reel. This one's missing a badge off of the side of it here, but aside from that, it looks like it's pretty well all there. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. Tell me what you didn't like. And for now, that's Rick Stivers of YoungMartin'sReels signing out.